Welcome and thank you for joining us today for a Land Services SA webinar on the Red Packet and Fast Track services. This is a pre-recorded session with a live Q&A session at the end of this presentation. We ask you to kindly hold off all your questions until the allocated time, where one of our subject matter experts will be able to assist. Land Services SA is committed to providing an excellent customer experience. One way we continue to deliver value to the industry is through our industry education program, where we produce a range of helpful educational materials, hold regular webinars, and host industry events. Our industry education program addresses key topics and frequently asked questions to ensure you remain up to date with contemporary practices. We want to help set you up for success, and our industry education program is one way we are trying to reduce the volume of requisitions, meaning a quicker and more seamless experience for your clients. Land Services SA's subject matter experts assist in delivering our industry education program, utilising their years of experience and respected place in the industry. This webinar was prepared by Flynn Stewart, Manager of Registration Services. Responsible for the registration and property examination teams, Flynn has been with Land Services since 2022. With a legal background, Flynn has previous experience with the Attorney General's Department and the Public Trustee. This webinar will cover the following information. What is Red Packet Priority Registration? Red Packet Eligibility Criteria explained. How to request Red Packet Priority Registration. Examples of Red Packet requests. Land Services Fast Track Service, an alternate option. Fast Track Service eligibility. How to request Fast Track registration, and Land Services processing times. What is Red Packet Priority Registration? Land Services SA has the ability to assist clients in difficult and extenuating circumstances. This Red Packet service is free of charge and allows dealings to be expedited for priority examination and can be applied for at any time. Approved requests will be examined as soon as possible once the data entry for that day's lodgements has been completed. This ensures all postal and drop-and-go lodgements have been captured. This is necessary as there could be a dealing lodged prior to the dealing subject to the Red Packet request, which will need to be examined first. A client may be eligible for Red Packet priority if they are experiencing either medical or financial hardship. If applying on medical hardship grounds, the client will need to meet one of the following criteria. Has been diagnosed with a terminal illness or is suffering life-threatening injuries. Is suffering illness, disability or injuries and requires priority registration to accommodate their care, comfort or medical treatment. Is suffering illness, disability or injuries and requires priority registration to accommodate their transition to an aged, disability or medical care facility. Has a dependent or dependents that are suffering illness, disability or injuries and requires priority registration to accommodate their care, comfort or medical treatment, or is a victim of domestic violence and requires priority registration to accommodate their safety. If applying on financial hardship grounds, the client will need to meet all of the following criteria. The client will likely suffer a negative financial impact if the dealing or series of dealings is not registered as a priority. The client has limited assets. The likely financial cost to be incurred by the client is disproportionate to their financial means. The financial burden will place the client at risk of meeting their day-to-day financial obligations, or the financial burden will significantly jeopardize the client's financial independence or security. The financial burden is the result of unforeseen circumstances and is not associated with poor planning or unrealistic timeframes. And special consideration will be given to victims of domestic violence or others in dire circumstance. Red Packet requests may only be submitted by the lodging or correcting agent for the plan or dealing. The request must be submitted on company letterhead and not within the body of an email. They must quote the dealing number, title reference or plan number. There must be an explanation of the financial or medical hardship, accompanied by supporting evidence and confirmation that no third party will be disadvantaged by the priority registration of the plan or dealing. Requests can be emailed to customersupport@landservices.com.au or delivered to our offices at 101 Grenfell Street. Requests can be made at the time of lodgement or submitted any time after lodgement. Land Services considers each request for red packet prioritisation on a merit basis and may request further information or supporting evidence. Examples of approved red packets include client requests made on the following grounds: to facilitate the sale of their property and ultimately fund their residency at an aged care facility, facilitate changes to their existing property or transition to a new property that caters for their medical needs, such as upgrades to a home for wheelchair accessibility or specialised medical equipment, to avoid delayed purchase of a home while the client is struggling to maintain suitable housing and/or meet their day-to-day financial obligations, or avoid financial penalties that are so severe that it may render the client unable to proceed with the dealing or transaction, and their housing, accommodation, or financial security is at major risk. Requests may not be approved if they involve commercial transactions or are made on behalf of clients who own more than one property. Other grounds that will not be accepted or will require further explanation include standard penalties associated with delayed settlement, where the client has failed to plan appropriately or there has been reasonably foreseeable delays, expiry of financial approval or changes to the terms of financial approval, intention of an interested party to exercise contractual powers to void or amend a contract, market changes, including but not limited to changes in property prices, interest rates, or access to finance. Fast Track is an optional service offered for non-division type dealings, reducing the time to register the dealings to within 3 business days after acceptance of the quote or lodgement, whichever is last. The Fast Track service does not replace the Red Packet Priority service for those clients in difficult or extenuating circumstances and who would otherwise be eligible for the Red Packet service. Instead, the Fast Track service is offered to any client who requires expedited registration. Benefits of the Fast Track service include faster registration of non-division dealings, assurance of registration within the defined service offer of 3 business days, peace of mind for clients approaching settlement, ability to expedite paper-based dealings when there are separate e-conveyancing dealings out of series, ability to expedite dealings to facilitate a clean title before further dealings are lodged. The Fast Track service is limited to non-division dealings only. For assistance with division and plan-based dealings, please consider Land Services Premium Consulting Service. For information, contact our office or visit our website. Fast Track can be used for a wide range of non-division dealings, including both manually lodged paper dealings and electronic dealings lodged via an approved ELNO. The Fast Track priority can be requested and actioned at any time, including before or after lodgement. Dealings that are not eligible for the Fast Track service include division dealings, such as RTCs or RTUs, or dealings in series with a division dealing. Dealings under an active priority notice that does not align with the Fast Track request, dealings waiting on pickup, or the removal of a caveat. The Fast Track service can be requested at any time, including after lodgement of the dealing. However, for the fastest results, we suggest making the request before or at the time of lodgement. The cost of the service is determined by the number of dealings being lodged in the series and the complexity of the dealings involved. The price structure is available on our website along with detailed information regarding the service. The website also includes the link to the online application form as shown on the slide. This application form is quick and easy, and our office will provide a response shortly after your application is received. Once accepted, our office will register the dealings as soon as possible. Whilst we guarantee a 3-day service level, we are usually able to register dealings within 1 business day of the request and lodgement. To assist industry with managing client expectations, the current processing times for both dealing registrations and plan approvals are available on the Land Services website. This report is updated daily and can be shared with your clients when considering if the Red Packet or Fast Track services are required in their specific circumstances. To summarise the key points from this webinar, please remember, The Red Packet Priority Service is available to those clients experiencing hardship. Make sure your client meets the requirements for this Red Packet service, as you will be asked to explain your client's circumstances and provide supporting evidence. Does your client need urgent registration before a pending settlement? Consider the Fast Track service. Use the quick and easy online form to request the Fast Track registration. For division dealings and plan lodgements, consider the Premium Consulting Service to ensure first-time registration and avoid requisitions. Access Land Services website to see the current processing times for dealings, plans and issuing new titles. Land Services SA's website has a range of educational and support materials to assist you in your day-to-day work. Our Industry Education Hub is a good place to start. This can be found by clicking Industry Education Hub on the homepage of Land Services website. A copy of today's webinar will be published on the Industry Education Hub together with recordings of previously held webinars. That concludes the recorded webinar section. Thank you for listening. Please remain online for the live Q&A session with our subject matter experts.